So I just got through watching the Damsel in Distress mini video series that was directed by Miss Anita Sarkeesian. And I will respond very, very simply in this matter. I think as gamers, when we were growing up, we were 7, 8, 9 years old, I think we were more focused on strategizing on how to beat the game rather than how women were being shown in the game, whether they're being kidnapped or being in a weak state or however they've been shown in video games. But yes, the mind of a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid playing video games was not analyzing the characters of the game. We just wanted to beat the game because we were so into it. We wanted to figure out how we were going to beat it. Like in the case of Super Mario, we figured out that in order to beat it, you had to kill the Goombas, you had to kill the Koopas, you had to kill enemies along the way, or rather stomp on them. There were several bosses levels that included Bowser. You had these power-ups that were available to help you complete the game. The pipes help you navigate. You were more worried about, or in any game, you were so into the plot, the how the game progressed and how you had to finish it. You weren't as gamers. We weren't worried about the women who was in help. All we just worried about, if that was the point of the game, was to save the woman, was to save her. And like I said, in between, we're more worried about how we were going to how to survive the game, how to finish the game, not the ending, if I can put it that way. And plus, as years progress, women started to have some roles, some higher roles, instead of just being the lady who needed to be rescued or who was being beaten. How else? Like, take for example the game Max Payne. Yes, in the game Max Payne. If by the way, this is a spoiler, and if you haven't played Max Payne, so if you haven't played Max Payne, don't stop the video and play it first before I ruin it for you. Max Payne's wife gets killed by these junkies, and so Max Payne sets out to avenge the death. He later finds out that the lady, the woman who ordered his wife to be killed, was this powerful lady, this powerful corporate owner woman called Nicole Horn. And if you recall, Alfred Wooden, who was the guy who saw it all, described her as a woman who had more than half the city in her pocket, who was turned down for this Project Valkyrie by, I believe it was the U.S. Army in the game. And when it didn't happen, she proceeded without authority. So for a woman who was able to pull that off and at the same time buy the city, half the city in her pocket, that's not a lady of weakness. That's a lady who, if I was Max Payne, I'd be crapping my pants, because this lady can kill me with the touch of a finger. And there was a scene in there where she had the guys in black suits, as Max Payne called them, holding him at gunpoint. But going back to what we're discussing, so that's one instance where women were, yes, Nicole Horn was a bad lady, but she was a lady who had higher authority, very powerful, instead of just being the usual weak character who needed to be rescued. Then you had Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the main character, Jill Valentine. Now, in this case, this wasn't a case where she had to rescue another lady or another man, but she had to escape the city before again, another spoiler if you haven't played Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, where before the city was to be wiped out of the T-virus. And she plays this character, this highly trained police officer, Stars, to escape and to figure out what else Umbrella was up to. And in the game, she's not weak. She's a woman who's carrying guns, who knows how to survive certain puzzles in the game, who has to kill zombies, kill dogs, fight the massive nemesis to survive. She's not screaming like a girl. She's not shrieking. I mean, she's tough and going. The only time where she does temporarily become weak was when she gets infected by Nemesis with the T virus, and Carlos had to take over. But that was only for 10 minutes if you were that fast in the game progressing, or no more than 30 minutes. And afterwards, you went back to jail and you finished the game. So again, that's an instance where a woman was portrayed in surviving a dangerous city, a zombie-infested city, not just some weak link who had to be rescued. In this case, you as a player had to navigate Jill. Again, you were figuring out how you were going to navigate Jill out of the city. You had access to gunpowder, herbs. You had to figure out a way to kill Nemesis if you wanted to kill him. And you had to solve puzzles. Again, another example where women had other roles. In this case, destroying monsters, solving puzzles to finish the game. But again, these are just some examples. And yes, to some extent, Miss Anita makes a point that women aren't being depicted in a positive way. But I think at the end of the day, as gamers, we don't pay attention to those kinds of details. We're just worried about, again, strategizing. How are you going to finish the game? And how are you going to finish the game, move up to the next difficulty level or whatever it was. We weren't busy being critics or analysts of the game itself, especially growing up when we were 8 years old, or even to today, being older and the newer games coming out. I think we were just more worried about finishing the games and strategizing how to finish them. And that's it. I don't know how else to say it. Basically, my bottom line of my response to this series is, okay, yes, that is happening, but as gamers, I don't think we're really bothered by that. Well, not bothered, but we weren't paying attention to it. We were just worried about how to finish the game and have fun and turn off the console, and that was it. I am not disagreeing with her, nor am I going to agree with her. I'm just expressing my viewpoint. I mean, she's entitled to her viewpoint, and needless to say, she pointed out something that until now I just realized that, wow, that is true, that about how women were being shown in video games in the past and today. But as gamers, as I mentioned already several times, as gamers, we're worried about strategizing the game, how we're going to beat it, the barriers to overcome, and at the end have fun.